Today, we are strapping in for a really close look at an analysis report that's making some waves.
A big one.
Yeah, it's describing what they call a takeover moment in AI, and it's all being driven by one company, SoundHound AI. That's ticker SOUN.
And I think a lot of people know them, or think they know them, as just a voice tech company.
Right. But the sources we've compiled, they suggest that whole conversation, that entire framework, it really needs to change. We're focusing on the fallout from the huge reveal of the Amelia 7 agentic AI platform that was just a few days ago at CES 2026.
And the core narrative, the insight we really need to dig into, is that the bull case for SoundHound has it's fundamentally shifted.
This is no longer about just, accurate speech to text. It's about one single word.
Action.
Action.
That's where we have to start, because we're going past the headlines to really pull out the critical insights from this analysis. And the key question we need to tackle is, well, it's simple.
Okay.
How does this new platform solve the biggest and, frankly, the most expensive problem in modern AI?
Which isn't just understanding speech.
No, not anymore. Large language models can handle that well enough. The real friction, the real problem, is getting AI to move from just answering a question like Siri or Alexa to actually executing complex multi-step tasks.
Tasks that cross different systems, different ecosystems.
Exactly. That's the billion-dollar problem.
Okay, let's unpack this. This shift from like a utility to actual execution feels like a massive conceptual leap.
It is. I mean, think about the history here. For years, we've had these voice assistants that are basically brilliant librarians.
You ask a question, they find an answer.
They search, they give you the answer. But they almost never do anything that requires coordinating multiple real-world systems.
Right.
Amelia 7, as this analysis describes it, is the platform that moves SoundHound into what they are calling agentic AI.
Agentic, let's define that. How is that functionally different from the Alexa sitting on my counter?
Well, agentic AI is designed to be proactive,
Yeah.
not just reactive.
Yeah.
A traditional assistant, if you ask it to, say, book a table at the nearest Italian place, it'll probably just pull up a list of Yelp reviews. Maybe some phone numbers.
Right. It puts the work back on me to actually close the loop.
Precisely. An agentic platform like Amelia 7 is designed to handle that whole workflow. It checks the restaurant's own booking agent, it cross-references that with your calendar agent, it accounts for your preferences, and it books the table.
And then sends me a confirmation.
All from that one single natural voice command. It executes tasks across all those different stubborn software ecosystems that don't normally talk to each other.
This sounds like the promise of AI we've been, waiting for since we were kids watching cartoons.
It's getting there.
And the analysis points to a very specific, very tangible application where this is a total game changer. They call it the killer app.
In-car commerce.
In-car commerce.
Absolutely. This is where that agentic idea becomes, immediate high-value reality. We've all been there, right? You're driving, you need coffee, you need to find gas, you're trying to order at a drive-thru and fumbling with your phone.
Which is not safe.
Not at all. The historical pain point is that total disconnect between the car's OS and the actual transactional world outside the car.
And the analysis is saying Amelia 7 just bridges that gap. It integrates voice directly into that physical transaction.
Exactly. So now drivers can use their voice to order ahead at a restaurant, pay for parking in a city garage, or even book a hotel room 100 miles down the road.
All negotiated, confirmed, and paid for right through the dashboard.
It just takes that friction away. And this is why the analysis sees it as a takeover catalyst. They're not just facilitating a search, they're capturing the entire value chain of that commercial interaction.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating for me because the sources we have highlight a crucial technical piece that supports all of this.
The Vision AI integration.
The Vision AI integration. The platform uses the car's cameras to actually see the environment. It's not just listening anymore, it's interacting with the visual world. I mean, that sounds incredibly complex in a moving car.
It is complex, but it solves such a huge usability problem. Think about it. You're driving past a new restaurant, or you see a billboard for a local event.
Right.
With Amelia 7, you don't have to try and memorize the phone number or the address. You can literally just point and say, call that number on the billboard.
Wow.
Or get me directions to that address. The system sees it, processes the visual info, extracts the data, and then executes the action instantly.
So it's not just interpreting my voice, it's giving the car a set of eyes that enables action based on the context of the real world.
Precisely. Or imagine you're navigating. You could ask, what is that landmark over there on the right? Or Is that the correct turnoff for the state park?
And it gives you an instant actionable ID.
An ID that's linked to your navigation or, tourist info. This integration is what transforms the vehicle from just a box with music and directions into this intelligent, contextual, transactional hub.
It's a genuine leap in complexity. It ties the AI to the physical world in a way that, frankly, a generalized assistant just can't.
They can't.
So that level of integration, it immediately begs the next question: how secure is that advantage? Let's move to how SoundHound is, as the report says, building the moat.
Right.
They use very strong language here. They call it a potential monopoly move. But my first thought is, why couldn't Google just update Android Auto and do the exact same thing?
And that is the critical question. The analysis answers it by pointing to SoundHound's core strategy, which is vertical domination.
Vertical domination.
See, big tech is focused on building the general search engine for everything. They want to answer every question. SoundHound has picked a different fight.
They're not trying to win every trivia question.
No. They're laser focused on winning the high-value commercial transactions, the ordering, the booking, the buying, within two very specific, very high monetary verticals.
Which are automotive.
And restaurant enterprise solutions.
So they're choosing depth and integration over just pure breadth.
Exactly. They have spent years building deep, deep connections and custom APIs into the point-of-sale systems of major restaurant chains and into the incredibly complex infotainment systems of car makers.
And that specialized knowledge gives them an edge.
It gives them an accuracy and an integration depth that a generalized model, which, treats every query the same, it just can't match in these specific areas. It's about owning the transaction, not just owning the search.
Which leads us to the technical linchpin of this whole moat idea.
The MCP.
The Model Context Protocol, or MCP. We need to spend a minute here. Can you break this down? In plain English, how does the MCP actually function as a technical barrier?
Okay, so the Model Context Protocol is at its core an open communications standard. Think of it like an industrial-grade translator and coordinator.
A translator.
Yeah. Amelia 7 understands it doesn't need to be every single application. It's not trying to build a new Starbucks app or a new parking app.
It just needs to talk to them.
It serves as the essential coordination layer between them. It communicates with all these other specialized agents.
Give me an example.
Okay. Let's say you tell Amelia 7, set up a dinner date with my partner next Tuesday. The platform uses the MCP to send instructions to your personal calendar agent, which might be on Google or Microsoft.
Got it.
Then it communicates with the restaurant's booking agent, which might be on OpenTable or the restaurant's own software. The MCP is what makes sure all these different agents who were never built to talk to each other can execute that complex multi-step task seamlessly.
And SoundHound is the coordinator in the middle.
They are the coordination layer.
I see. So the value isn't just the AI, it's the fact that they are this necessary, highly specialized intermediary that guarantees it all works in those crucial commercial moments.
Right. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the MCP creates a huge defensive barrier.
Because big tech can't just plug in a new language model and get that same result.
Not overnight. They would have to rebuild that entire standards layer in every single vertical. It's a massive undertaking. SoundHound is making itself the indispensable operating system between all the other proprietary systems. They're securing that spot right in the middle of the transaction.
Now, a thesis like this, it requires hypergrowth, it requires disciplined management to actually pull off. So we need to pivot from the tech to the cold, hard financial firepower that's driving this strategy.
Yes, and the analysis report details some very clear milestones here. This isn't just speculative tech promise anymore. It's becoming a disciplined growth machine.
What's the headline number?
The headline number confirming their execution is the revenue goal. SoundHound is moving toward a $165 million to $180 million run rate for the full year 2025.
That is a massive jump for a company their size.
It is a massive jump.
Right.
And hitting that range, it validates the commercial adoption of the platform, and just as critically, it validates the acquisitions they've been making.
And the sources point specifically to the 2024 acquisition of Amelia, the company.
Yes, a huge component of this growth comes from this synergy there.
What are the analysts seeing? Is it just about adding new customers?
It's deeper than that. The report says the synergy is now fully operational. They've aggressively cut cost redundancies, streamlined the whole infrastructure, and this is key, they're having a lot of success cross-selling the combined tech.
So Amelia's enterprise customers are getting SoundHound's voice tech.
Exactly. Amelia's enterprise AI solutions are now being powered by SoundHound's core voice IP, and that's accelerating revenue inside that existing customer base.
But for any high-growth tech company, the most important story for Wall Street is rarely just revenue.
It's the path to profitability.
Right. Being cash flow positive changes the entire risk profile of the stock.
It absolutely does. And this is the critical timeline the market is watching very, very closely. The analysis expects adjusted EBITDA profitability to be achieved in late 2026.
Late 2026. That still feels a ways off for a stock like this. Is the report worried about the cash burn until then? The risk of missing that target?
Well, the analysis acknowledges the burn is real, but the focus is all on the trajectory. The bullish case is directly tied to the exponential growth that Amelia 7 is fueling.
Okay.
The report argues that if SoundHound hits that late 2026 profitability target, if they prove they can move out of that high-burn growth phase into sustained financial health, Wall Street will almost certainly re-rate the multiples significantly higher.
So that's the trigger moment.
That's the trigger. The market discounts companies that burn cash. They reward companies that prove their tech can generate real sustainable profits. Hitting that 2026 goal is the moment the market stops treating them like a risky, speculative play and starts pricing them like a true enterprise tech leader.
That completely reframes the risk. It makes sense that hitting 2026 would be the catalyst. Okay, let's quickly wrap up with the immediate technical setup and what analysts are saying now, post-CES.
The market reacted fast. It confirms that institutions are taking this agentic AI platform very seriously. The sources note the current price is around $11.75.
And that's after a pretty big jump.
Yeah, a strong 6.6% jump right after the CES news broke. There's real buying interest here.
And for anyone watching the charts, is there a key technical level they need to watch, a resistance level to clear for the next leg up?
The specific level highlighted in the analysis is $12.31. That was the high point during that initial buying frenzy.
So a clean break above that is the signal.
A clean break and a sustained hold above $12.31 is seen as the confirmation. The technical signal that opens the door for a push toward that next big resistance level, which is right around $14.
And what about the outside consensus? What are other analysts saying now that this platform is out in the wild?
Confidence is very high. The analysis points out that the street high targets are now clustering around $17.
Wow.
Yeah, that represents about 45% upside from where it is right now. That reflects some serious confidence in the Amelia 7 strategy and that path to 2026 profitability.
So, to synthesize this whole thesis one last time for you, SoundHound AI is no longer a simple speech-to-text utility.
Not at all.
This analysis defines it as an action platform, specifically built to handle complex transactional workflows in the real physical world.
Primarily targeting cars, restaurants, and other high-value commercial verticals.
Exactly.
What's so fascinating here is that we're really seeing a clear strategic line being drawn in the sand. On one side, you have chatbots, which are these general conversation tools.
Right.
And on the other, you have agentic AI, which is focused entirely on verified transactions and execution. This report explicitly positions SoundHound as the pure-play leader in this high-growth, actionable agentic space.
And for you, our listener, understanding the shift is critical. If this analysis is right, and voice does eventually become the core operating system for how we interact with the commercial world, from ordering coffee to managing logistics, then SoundHound's deep vertical integration
And the MCP.
and the MCP, they become not just features, but essential infrastructure.
And here's the provocative thought we want to leave you with.
Okay.
This current stock breakout at $11.75, the one that followed the Amelia 7 reveal, it might just be the critical window of opportunity, the moment before the really big institutional money fully commits.
Because they're positioning themselves months, maybe a year, ahead of that big fundamental shift.
Exactly. They're looking at that adjusted EBITDA profitability date in late 2026. So the question for you to consider is this. What happens to the valuation when the broader market finally stops thinking of SOU as just a speculative speech recognition stock?
And starts fully appreciating that they are the essential coordinated operating platform for the entire future of commercial voice AI.
That's the question.
Yeah.
And that's what moves the needle.